All right, hey, welcome back to Shane's Main Shop. I've already kind of started this video. This is not something most of you are going to do, but if you want to make sure your pellet stove is clean properly and ready for the 2019, 2020 heating season, then there's a lot of little areas in there that dust gets caught in and hung up on. And so what I end up doing is, I'm outside here, as you can see, I'm already all covered. But what I end up doing is I do several different things, but one is I stick a vacuum on the exhaust, and then I use a brush and stuff inside here, brush things down while it's sucking out the dirt, dust, and I also use an air compressor. I don't care how well you clean these in your home, you never can get everything out of all of the crevices up and behind, you know, the plates that go in here. It's impossible to get up in there, really, you know, unless you have a really small hose. But even then, inside these areas here, you need a very small vacuum hose to get down in there. So I just get the air hose in there. You can see it's not too bad now. It was coming out this black in the beginning. But the best thing to do is have this running. So you won't hear me. So that's kind of what I'm doing. I'll just kind of show you. And it by having this running, it sucks a lot of it out the back. I also reverse it. I have the vacuum in the front when I'm blowing all the stuff in the front when I first start off, to really make sure we're, you know, getting as much out of the system as possible. All right, well, for some reason my video stopped midstream, but so just to wrap it up here really quick, not everybody's going to do this. It's a pain to get it out of your house, and you know, most people are not going to have the means to do that very easily. But this is the best way I've found to make sure this thing is thoroughly cleaned out, is to run the vacuum in the back, run the vacuum in the front, as well as using the air compressor. It's important to make sure you get the burn box cleaned out and all of the chamber in behind here as much as possible. So if you don't have a way to get it out of your house, the best thing I can recommend is still use a good shop vac. Make sure the filter's good and clean so there's good suction, and then get yourself a furnace brush. I'll try to put a link for a couple of those in the description down below, and use the brush when you have this plate off to really, you know, a nice flexible brush that you can get in there and brush in behind all of this as much as you can up top here, get down as deep as the thing will go, loosen things up while the vacuum is running in the back, and that should suck out most of the dust out the back and not make a mess in your home. But if you're not doing that, then you're not getting all of the soot out. You can get a small flexible hose too to hook to your vacuum, and I recommend that as well to get down in these chambers and compartments here as much as possible. But if you can get more of that stuff out, your system is going to work much more efficiently. You're going to get much more heat out of, you know, your actual pellets, because if you have a thick layer of soot, it's insulating the metal, so you're not getting the full heat transfer from that pellet, you know, the pellets burning into your home. So it's very important to get it as cleaned out as much as possible to have it run as efficient as possible. Now, with that said, like I said, not everybody's going to be bringing this thing outside, so you get yourself a good shop vac at least, and a couple good brushes that you can loosen things up in there after you vacuumed out all of the loose stuff. You know, take your burn pot out, make sure that's good and clean, and then I would do the same thing in the back. Have the vacuum hooked to this while you're doing that, but then use your brush back here, have your vacuum close by, and, you know, brush inside here, loosen up anything, and get that cleaned out as much as possible. Just be careful. You do have your exhaust fan in there, so you don't want to damage that. I'm sure you probably can't see it, but you might be able to see some fan blades down in there, so you don't want to damage that. So be careful there. But that's really about it. You know, just vacuum the whole thing out, make sure it's good and cleaned up and ready to go for the heating season. Now, the reason why this one's out in this particular case is I'm going to be moving it downstairs. I might have mentioned that because the one downstairs has a burnt out motor, and we have a cold spell coming, and I'm waiting for the motor to come in, and we use that one more. So we're going to swap them out, and once that motor comes in, I will show you a replacement video of how to replace, in this particular case, the lower feed motor, which runs the bottom auger in this particular unit continuously. So this one runs continuously. The top one is your intermittent one to feed your pellets in. So I'll be replacing that motor here in the coming weeks, and I will do a video on it and show you how it's done. So anyway, make sure you take time, clean your pellet stove out. If you can't get outside, do the best you can in the house. Make sure it's running as efficient as you can for this upcoming heating season. Now, I am not an expert, so this is really just an entertainment video. So seek professional advice if you have any questions. And, you know, I recommend having a professional make sure it's clean and safe to operate for the new heating season.